Hi everyone, it's Angela with Create Your Future, and I am back today with a new video. I want to talk about persisting, what it means to persist, how you persist, and I want to also touch on what it doesn't mean when we talk about persisting. But before we start, I want to remind you about our contest. We're going to give away some free coaching. So if you'd like to get entered in the contest, just look in our description box below for the links. Also, we have a mailing list now. If you want to be notified when we have new courses, sales, promotions, anything like that, then definitely check out our description box for the links on how to get on the mailing list. And also, I am available for one-on-one coaching. So if you'd like to work with me, help personalize your manifesting journey, help you find blocks, answer questions, whatever it is you might want to work on, definitely sign up for coaching with me. Okay, so let's get started with persistence. First of all, I want to talk about what persisting is not. So persisting does not mean that you are perfect every day, that you never doubt, that you don't make a mistake, that you don't spiral or react to the 3D. It doesn't mean that those things can never happen, because those things are going to happen. They happen to everybody. They happen to me. They happen to coaches. We all have those moments. We get triggered sometimes. Sometimes we really react to that 3D. We spiral. So it doesn't mean that you're not going to have your moment or your day, or maybe several days where you feel like you've just blown it, or things aren't working, or manifesting isn't working for you, or you're doubting. That happens. That happens to all of us all the time. But what is important, and what real persistence is, involves what you do when that happens. Because this whole journey, remember, is really not about the end. It's really not about the desire, but it's about the journey itself. So it's the process that you are going through. It is that awakening within you that's happening every day as you grow and as you learn. So that's what happens when we fall, when we spiral. We get back up and we keep going, and it's a learning process. That's what it's all about. It's the most important part. It's not that you fell or that you spiraled that's so important, but it's that you get back up, that you keep going, and you're evolving, basically. So that is what your persistence is. It's just that you are going to keep going. You're going to pick yourself up, and you're going to keep going forward. You're going to keep working out the process. And I have a quote that I want to share from Neville. Okay, Neville says, "You don't have to remain in a state if you have made a mistake. You can change state morning, noon, and night. But the state you most constantly return constitutes your dwelling place." Okay, so right there, the state that you return. That means you fall in the morning, but by noon, you've returned again to your dwelling state. And remember, your dwelling state is your God state. Your dwelling state is your new story. You return there. That is what is most important. You realign to the story. You realign to what it is that you want to experience. You realign with your desire. There is a scripture that says to take your thoughts captive to the obedience of Christ. And so Christ is referring to your highest level of consciousness. It is your unlimited self. It is that part in you where your faith dwells, where you believe. I have another quote from Neville also. In talking about Christ, he is saying that Jesus is the awakened intellect of man. When your mind functions outside of the range of your present senses, so that's like the 3D, your mind is functioning outside of what you're seeing in the 3D. When your mind is healed of all the former limitations, and that would be like that old story, that former limitation, what you saw in the past, you are this presence personified as Jesus, the power that can resurrect the longings of the heart of man. So what you're doing, you're returning to, you're taking your thoughts captive to the obedience of Christ, to that power that can resurrect the longing that's in your heart. And think a little bit what it means to be captive. So if you are someone's captive, say you're chained to someone, you have a captor, you try to run away and you can only get so far and then you have to be pulled back. You're attached to them, you're chained to them, you're captive. So if you're going to take your thoughts captive to your highest man, your highest self, your highest state of consciousness, you are holding yourself captive to that power that resurrects the longing of the heart of man. You are held captive to your new story. You are held captive to your desired outcome. You can only go so far. So you fall, you spiral, you doubt, but you're held captive to this new story. It pulls you back and you realign. And as Neville says, you're coming back to this dwelling state. So that's what we're doing when we're persisting. We are returning again and again and again, as often as we have to our new story. We are held captive to it. We might try to wander out a little bit. We maybe entertain some things that we shouldn't with our thoughts. Maybe we react to something externally. Maybe we doubt. Maybe we, whatever happens, but we return to this dwelling state. That is our dwelling state. This is my story. I'm sticking to it. I come back to it regardless. This is my end. Whatever that might be for you. It's that relationship with your specific person. It's the particular income that you're wanting. It's the finances that you are wanting in your life. It's the house. It's something maybe health related in your body. You're going to continually return to that as your dwelling state. You are held captive to that because that's your new story. So that is how we persist in that state. And it doesn't matter if we don't constantly maintain that state. Nobody can constantly do that. It's where you return. It's what you do after you fall. It's picking yourself back up. It's stabilizing. Sometimes we have to take that deep breath. Sometimes we have to kind of cleanse our breathing, do deep breathing, refocus to the God state. Remind yourself you are the only operant power. Nobody else is in your head. It's all you. It's your story. You are choosing your thoughts. So you're the only operant power. You're reminding yourself that life is moving through you and the external world is just showing you what's going on internally. Realigning to that, realigning to this state as often as you have to do it, morning, noon, or night. It doesn't matter. Just keep realigning. Because I don't want you to beat yourself up if you fall, if you think you've blown it, if you think, oh my goodness, this time I've really done it. As long as you get back up and you keep on going, you're going to get your desire. You are persisting. You are persisting, and this is how we do it. We just come back to that new story. We come back to that state that is in alignment with the thing that we really want to have show up in our life. That is persistence. Doesn't matter how many times you have to do it, but as long as you do it, you're going to get the end desire show up in your life. So I hope that this really encouraged you, and I hope that maybe if you had some fears or doubts, you felt like you've blown it, you felt like maybe, this time, how am I going to get back on top of things? You will, you just realign those thoughts. You come back to your original dwelling state and remind yourself that that's what you're doing. Sometimes it's moment to moment to moment. I've been there myself, where you just are redirecting, redirecting, redirecting. And as long as you do that, and as long as you stick with that, you will get there. So persist, and this is how we persist. We are picking ourselves up. We are our own cheering section. We are our own encouragement, and we do that continually until we get our desire in our life. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.